Morning, folks. Dwayne from Grandpa's Garage. Man, it's chilly out here today. I'm not sure the exact temperature. I think the last time I checked was around -20, so plus wind chill. It's chilly. Thought I'd bring you back again. My last video, of course, in the learning process, I didn't realize that you can't switch from vertical to landscape. You have to start out landscape or edit it out, and all that kind of stuff I'm still very much learning. Thanks for your patience, and thanks for following along. Today's going to be a shorter video. Just thought I'd bring you up to speed with one of the things I'm considering on the car, and going to do a bit of cleanup in the shop. I find that after a while I just need to clean things up. I'm not one for working in a lot of clutter, and especially with it being a smaller shop, then that's a pretty critical thing. So I'll show you what we're going to do here, or considering anyways. Need some kind of a pointer, I guess. Okay, so now right here at this junction on the will be both sides, but this is the driver's side. What I'm considering is I want to kind of soften the transition from the roof here, because of course with it previously being a sedan, this line of the roof went straight back and went way back. So I want to soften it up at this door. So my thought is, actually, you can see where I've made a bit of a line here. I'll probably change that a bit depending on how much clearance I can make on the inner door structure. But the idea, basically, I don't want to be changing anything. I had originally considered moving the hinge and all that, and that's just, I think that's just way too much more work than I really need to get into. So what I'll do is I'll start from around the top of the hinge, and I want to arc up and radius a bit in here till we come, so we can blend it out maybe around there, I guess, which will then also mean that I gotta rework this area here a bit, and this corner, that'll just be part of the sail panel area here. So part of the reason why I didn't really want to be finishing this area too much, because I knew that I'd probably be doing this. But yeah, just kind of a little something, you know. You're welcome to comment on your thoughts on it. I'm pretty certain I'm going to go that route. It's, you know, it's my whole idea behind doing this on the car is want to try and make it as close as I can, so that it looks as though it was more or less manufactured that way. So we'll see. You know, the idea of slanting the post and that sort of thing would be nice, and it would be very much similar to the way things are on another manufacturer's design. But I thought, well, you know what, I really would like to be able to get this thing together and move forward. I want to be able to drive it. My last project took way too long. 17 years in the making was my truck, and that's not going to happen here. So I have to make decisions on whether to go that route, or, as I've been encouraged by my good friend Frank at Frank's Garage, to maybe build a rat. The rat rods, I think, are great. They certainly it takes a lot of creativity to put some stuff together, and you don't have to worry so much about the finish on your car, because a dent or a rust or whatever, that's all part and parcel of a rat rod. Whereas something like my 1950 Chevy truck is finished paint. It's very nice and that, but you're always kind of a little more guarded with it, I guess you could say. But yeah, so that's the path I'm planning to take with this. So I think I'm going to do my cleanup first, and then I might get onto this corner here, start working on that before I go any further with any other welding on the sail panel. But I'm going to put you on the stand, and then you can just follow along. It may be a little a little boring watching me just clean up here, but I'm sure most people understand that. But hang on, we'll set you up. Okay. Now, sorry for the fingers in the screen. The odd time, I got big hands and big fingers, and the screen's kind of small, so every once in a while my fingers will get in the way. Hopefully not too often. But anyways, clean up time. Now, one of the things that I'll show you, just for a little more interest, I guess, one of the other pieces that I was working on recently, that decided to get ready so that once I'm done the quarter panel welding and grinding and so on, and metal shaping, that I wanted to get ready to finish up the or replace the lower quarter panel sections. So I made these repair panels. These are made out of 18 gauge, and as you can see, they've got different shapes and a bend and all that sort of thing in it. But want to be able to replace those once I get the quarter panel sections up, the upper sections finished off. It was just kind of the one day I decided that I just wanted something light to work on, and knew it had to be done anyways. And it's interesting when you're working on a piece like this, because although it doesn't look like it on the car itself, there is actually a fair bit of shape to the edge, especially the lead edge by the door, and back here where it goes into the wheel well. This is a shape here. So it actually had to have a bit of contour to it. So that's part of shaping and using your shrinker stretcher if you got, or if you don't have, then you know what, you can always do it with hammers. I've done lots of stuff with hammers. Hammering on dolly will stretch metal quite a bit. But yeah, just a little tidbit to try and keep this video a little more interesting. It'll get all cut and welded in place, but I wanted to try and get the stuff on the upper side of the the car finished off, because when I go to do these, being that they're at the bottom of the quarter panel, um, I need to be able to access it comfortably. You know, when you're working on something and you're on it for a number of hours, you want to try and make it as comfortable as possible. So that's the way that we'll be doing. And I've got both these, one for the driver's side and one for the passenger side, already made up. The next piece that I'll be working on, and I'll bring you back on a different video, is the lower sections on the door. The door, of course, very common. The bottom section of the doors, they rot out. So I've got a pattern already made for them, and some of the sheet metal is prepped. So then on another video, we'll bring you back and show you how I go about that with shaping and getting things ready to go. But for now, back to house cleaning. It's amazing how much tools you bring out when you're doing stuff like this, because each tool has a purpose, of course, and it just, I don't know, I always find that I'm fascinated by how many tools you end up bringing out just to do what you would consider maybe a simple job. But of course, more than anything lately, I haven't put anything away, so it kind of accumulates after a while, and yeah, I find that I just get a day where I gotta clean things up. Just as I say, with a smaller shop, it's a little more challenging. I guess this video will end up being a little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit scattered in a sense. I guess I'm kind of feeling that way today. Here's another thing that I wanted to show you guys, or folks I should say, excuse me, because we like to encourage everybody that you don't have to be a guy to enjoy this kind of thing. I certainly would encourage anybody, man, woman, or child, to take it on and learn and enjoy it. This is a bullseye pick. Now, I've had this for many years, and what its intention is to be able to hit a bullseye point for raising dents or low areas. It does have on here right now, it's got a flat surface, but there actually is another head that I have for it, and it's more of a pointed surface. So if you wanted to really get into some fine areas, and I'm telling you, I've used this thing a lot, it helps to bring things upwards. Sometimes it's just harder to reach to do hammer and dolly, and generally with this, because it's a point load where it connects, it works it up quite easily, and as you can see, it's got a fair bit of reach in here. Hang on a sec, we'll get a tape measure and just measure that, just to give you an idea. So you've got 20-inch throat on that, so you can reach in quite a ways. And of course, because it's contoured like this. You reach around stuff very well with it. But yeah, some of the little things that I've picked up over the years and just keep working away with. But I thought I'd show it to you. I know that I've seen other people where they've taken the concept like this and they've made their own. It's a spring-loaded setup, so it returns itself always to open. But yeah, I'm sure that anybody that's got the desire to create something like this themselves, I'm sure it would not be very hard at all. But anyways, house cleaning again. So one of the things I find interesting is when I'm cleaning up is for some of the stuff that I don't use very often, like these intergrips, which I had showed you in the previous video, remembering which drawer you put the darn things in. I got a good memory, just real short. Now I'm wondering, maybe I'll move the camera just if I'm coming back and forth to the toolbox, I'll be blocking the camera view a bit. So I think I'll just shift the camera a little bit and to give you a little bit different view on things, I guess. Hang on, folks. There, sorry for the juggling, but necessary, and I just didn't want to be walking directly in front of the camera every time that I move to put something in the toolbox. Okay, some of this stuff is going to stay because I know I'm going to be using it soon. Some of the stuff, no. The other thing that I find happens quite often is after you're welding and grinding a lot, that grinding dust gets into everything, and you pick anything up and it gets on your hands, and if you're not wearing gloves, it just sticks to your hands, and then of course that's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just for me, I'm a little more fussy that way, I guess. So we'll continue to get things cleaned up here a little bit. Probably shortly I'll end the video and continue with my house cleaning. I will be like vacuuming everything. It's one of those things I just find that I like to keep on top of. Otherwise, it gets away on you, and it's just such a big job to clean up. Easier just to do it as you go along a little more. All right. Now, here's another little thing that's pretty handy, I find anyways. This is a contour gauge. I bought this many years ago. You can usually find these in places like Princess Auto or Home Depot or whatever. I think this one came from Home Depot if I'm not mistaken. So when you're trying to copy a contour, so when I did the tops of the quarter panels here, you want to have them at least very close on either side, and this is how you can do it. So you just take the contour gauge, press it down, and it conforms to the shape. So now, when you go to the other side, you can put it on there, and you can match up and move the metal around if you need to. I did this already on here, so I know that they're actually very close, but very handy. Yeah, I actually find that I use it quite a lot, and it just kind of gives you a good guide for your shaping. Yeah, and they're cheap. I think these are probably like $10. So a really good thing to have in your toolbox. Speaking of toolboxes, which drawer to go in? Excuse me. So here's another tool that I made up myself. This is called a T-dolly, and this is a 1-inch radius T-dolly. For when I was creating this contour on the quarter panel repair section, that's what I was using, is this. And it's not an exact match for what I had to create here, but it gives you a starting point, and then you can shape it, because this one has, rather than a really nice radius like this, it actually flattens out a little bit to match the body. So you just flatten it out a little bit. But I made, what's the big enough? 3 different sizes. We'll go from 1/2 inch to 3/4 to 1 inch, and you're all limited to whatever you want to do. There's just some round stock that I had in my scrap pile, and a little chunk of flat stock to weld to it, and then just reshaping the one end, whatever you want. But very handy to have. Now here's another little thing that I want to show you that I use. I don't use it a lot, but it sure is handy when you're trying to bump out some metal and you don't want to deform your panel with hammer marks and that sort of thing. It's essentially a small shot bag. Give me a second here. Grab a tape measure. Yeah, this one's about a 5.5 inch diameter. These ones are made by Eastwood. I'm sure you can get them elsewhere, but just fill them with some silica sand or whatever you have around, and yeah, they're handy. Like I do use it. I just don't use it as much as some other tools, like a regular dolly or whatever. But if you want to just gently bump some stuff, this is certainly a good thing to use as a backer. And it's got two sides, the one side that's a coarse side and of course a smooth side. So in this garage we don't fret about things that are super fine detail work, and in particular on this project I'm just not going to spend 17 years building the darn thing. But anyways, just thought I'd show you that. Okay. Well, let's see where we're at time-wise on this thing. It's probably not super exciting for you folks. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it. I'll bring you back when I'm gonna do something a little more interesting. Anyways, I want to thank you all for watching and supporting my channel. I appreciate all the support. If you can like, share, and subscribe, I'd appreciate that very much. And hopefully I can bring you back on the next video that's a little more entertaining. Today is just kind of one of those days. But from Grandpa's Garage, this is Dwayne, the little garage that could, saying bye for now.